So the graphic novel I chose was Monster by Walter D. Myers. Um, it was actually pretty good. I had read the novel many years ago, I was interested in seeing how they had adapted the book into a graphic novel. Um, and honestly, it kind of stayed true to the actual novel, so it was quite flattering to see them use pictures in the form of words that you would find in the book. But anyway, so as you can see, well, can you see? Let me back it up some. All the pictures are in black and white. Every single one of them. Nothing's in color. And to tell you about the story is about a young man, 16 years old. His name is Steve Harmon. He's on trial for a murder, and basically they're trying to see if he's guilty or innocent. And in the story, you see, his parents changing. His lawyer even kind of doesn't believe him. And at some point, you kind of start to question whether he's innocent or not because he's trying to figure it out. So it's this ongoing battle within himself as well as other characters. So one thing that I found fun to know is that they actually listed all the characters on, I think this is like the 8th page. Oh, wait, sorry. Wrong one. They actually listed all the characters on the 8th page. Well, all the important characters. So you can kind of get an idea of who they are, so you don't have to try and piece together, who this person is. So they even, give you little clues, okay, we have the witness, the rat, the thug, things of that nature to kind of give you an idea of who this person is when they're introduced into the story. So in the beginning, we're trying to figure out what he did, how he was involved, and they kind of paint this story. I think the cool thing is that in the story he introduces it as him telling his story, but as a movie. So that's how it was built in. He decided, okay, well, I'm gonna write it like a movie in order to explain his story. So in that, you can see flashbacks to kind of give you an idea of who he is as a character. So here's a flashback of his friend throwing a rock and just kind of getting the idea of the people he, hung out with or whatnot, and get the idea of who he is. And even though I knew the ending beforehand, it was fun kind of trying to figure out what was going on. So the character arcs are there. You kind of see each character evolve. Even when it comes to the lawyer, with the lawyer, her attitude kind of stayed the same. Even though she was trying to tell him to stay positive, she was apprehensive about whether he was innocent or guilty. And at the very end, it actually tells you that she didn't even bother to hug him. She just turned around and left. And the sad thing is his dad had left too, because he ended up being found not guilty. And he seemed a bit guilty still, trying to figure out who he was. And, even though it was a happy ending, it wasn't really happy because he was still kind of miserable within himself. One cool part that I actually really enjoyed was the very, very end. It's right here where you see these kids watching a documentary or whatever of him, and then as he turns around, it's actually him who's talking back. So it was this cool, oh my gosh, if this was a movie, this would definitely happen type of moment. And I thought it was pretty cool. As far as how the story was written, I would honestly say that there was 4 acts instead of 3, even though the book was fairly short. It was only 153 pages. But the act breaks, it just made sense to me that it would be 4 acts instead of 3, with the second and third act being the longest out of all of them. And as far as like it being a traditional beginning, middle, and end, I would say yes, because of the nature of the book. It was first a novel before it was even a graphic novel, so it was still written as a novel, just in graphic form. So there was a complete beginning, middle, and end, and you can kind of tell within reading it that there was, that it was a complete story. The pacing was great. I mean, it was literally like reading the novel, like even with the graphics. As far as everything else, I find that the sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I find that the story was written in a true form of a graphic novel, I guess. With this particular book, though, I believe it was written as a screenplay too, if I'm not mistaken. But with this particular book, I would recommend it to pretty much anybody who's interested in fiction, like young fiction, teen fiction, because it's a great book. There's really nothing else to say about it. I find the graphics very easy to read. I mean, you can look at the pictures and kind of know whether the person's angry, upset, what they're trying to say. And another thing, this slipped my mind, is that within the book, it actually looks like he's directing it like a movie. So I thought that was kind of funny. Because all in all, in the end, it's actually him telling his own story. So technically it would be considered a past tense type of book, but you wouldn't really, I guess, understand that until the very end, to where he's watching himself in the movie. And this is the page of them. Okay, hold on. Wait, sorry, right here. Okay, wrong, right here. Where he's actually like directing it. And I thought that was cool. Because, there's like three different senses. So you have his flashbacks included. Then you have him directing it. So I'm assuming that it would be like kind of like a future tense type of thing. And then his quote unquote present, which is like the majority of the book, which would, I guess, technically be considered the past. I don't know. Maybe it'll be past here. So it was cool. I mean, like, the nature of the characters were even spot on. So it was good. That's it. I don't know if you guys have any questions. You can always drop them in the comment section. All right. Bye-bye.